My final guest of today is here, and he is a gentleman that I'm sure an awful lot of people in Northern Ireland are saying, well done, Bob, if they think back to 1981 when my guest, Bob Champion, won the Grand National on that wonderful horse, Aldaniti. Bob's in Northern Ireland today, making various personal appearances around the place, and also to talk about a food supplement which he has found very helpful since his obvious health scares earlier. We'll be talking with Bob very shortly. Ooh, that's enough to stir you of an afternoon, isn't it? That particular piece of music is the theme to Champions, the film which was released in 1983, telling the story of Bob Champion's racing career and indeed his battle against cancer. And of course he and that wonderful Aldaniti's Grand National victory. I am delighted this afternoon the man himself was with me in the flesh. Good afternoon, Bob.
Good afternoon to you.
Welcome to Downtown Radio. In that film in 1983, did you have any say as to who played what? I mean, because getting John Hurt to play you, pretty big stuff, eh?
Well, it was actually. He's a very, very good actor.
Excellent.
And I did an awful lot with the scriptwriter.
You'd originally written the book, of course.
Yes, Jonathan Powell and myself. And then they wanted to do the film after I won the National. And the book was virtually finished before the National, actually. And the company, Victor Galancet, wanted the book before the National. And we said, no, whatever happens in the National, it'll be a good end to it. You know, we might fall at the first, or we might win, or we might finish last. But whatever it was, it would be an end to it. And thankfully, we won.
Did you know from the outset that you were going to win that race? Did you have a feeling?
I always thought I couldn't get beat, funny enough.
Good.
I was always very, very confident for about 6 weeks before. The only thing I was worried about, if we ran him in the Gold Cup in between, he wouldn't be as fresh. He was a horse that needed to be fresh. And I didn't personally think he was quite good enough to win a Gold Cup. He'd been third in one before, but that was as near as he could get. And, you know, thankfully the owner and trainers wanted to go straight for the National, which pleased me. Absolutely.
Where is Aldaniti today? We were having a raging discussion about this at lunchtime in the canteen.
He's at home with his owners in Sussex. He's got a nice retirement.
Lovely.
We might bring him out and do another walk in the spring or next year to raise money for the Cancer Trust, the Bob Champion Cancer Trust, the Royal Marsden.
How much did you raise as a result of that?
We raised, with the walk he did last time, about 4 or 5 years ago, raised 800,000, but my Cancer Trust raised over 3 million.
3 million?
Yeah.
That takes a lot of raising, Bob.
Oh, it does, and we keep going, so as long as we keep bringing it in, it's doing a lot of good.
Of course it is. One of the things that I think everyone's becoming more aware of nowadays is the fact of, because of money spent on research, the incidence of cancer and the curing of certain types of it is certainly getting better. Would you agree?
I agree with you. You know, the money's going to good causes. They're curing something like 50% of cancers now, which is great.
And having cancer is not necessarily a death sentence.
No, it isn't. It's always been a dirty word.
Exactly. Let me take you back to when you discovered that indeed you were suffering from cancer. I read this morning in some information that was sent to me that it all started, I may be wrong, but it all started as the result of being kicked in the groin by a horse. Is that...
Well, we thought it could have done, but the doctors are not so sure. I did get kicked there, and I did have cancer there, but nobody can really say for sure how it started.
I mean, the big question has to be, if you hadn't been kicked,
well, if I
would you ever have found out?
If I hadn't been kicked, I don't think I'd have been here, because it did put my mind to it. Mm-hmm. I must agree.
Well, let me take you back to the beginning of your career. I believe that you did come from a family of keen horsemen, but you weren't really that enthusiastic until the ripe old age of 10.
It's true, actually. I started riding when I was about 2 or 3, and they overfaced me a little bit, and I went off it for a time, and I came back at 10. I think boys are always a lot later coming into it than girls, actually. And if boys come back into it 10, they usually carry on doing it.
How did you then get into the big bad world of real racing, shall we say, or indeed working with trainers?
Well, I left school and went to college at 15, and I worked on my uncle's farm at the same time, who had pointers. And it all started from there. I rode a couple of winners when I was 15 and got the bug and carried on.
And in 1968, you were awarded professional status as a jockey. How do you get to that? I mean, you have to win so many races, or what's the form?
No, I turned professional then. Basically, I was an amateur before, and you couldn't carry on being an amateur, and you had to try to earn a living. Mm-hmm. So I turned professional that year. In
an effort to earn some money?
We tried to earn some money.
Well, we keep thinking about the owners and the trainers and the attendant people who are part of this world of horses. They all seem to have a few bob. Is it for apprentice jockeys? What sort of money are they getting? Are they really like hairdressers getting hardly anything and everybody else ripping off the cream at the top?
I think now things have changed an awful lot. It used to be wages were very bad before. But
how much would you got paid as a 15-year-old?
I was getting about £5 a week.
And your board and keep, I suppose?
Yeah, a little bit of the board and keep. But now they're getting a proper agricultural wage and more. They do get a lot of presents, winners and everything, so that does boost it up a little bit. But they get the agricultural wage at the moment. Which isn't great, but
it's a job.
It's a job. Yes. And they're doing a job they enjoy.
Yes, exactly. Unlike a lot of people.
A lot of people leave racing and go and work in factories and earn an awful lot more money, but they all seem to drift back.
Mm-hmm. Who decides when a jockey is ready to go for the biggies, like the National? And how indeed did you get your first go at it?
Well, I think you've got to have ability a little bit, like any sportsman.
Have a trail of winners behind,
obviously.
Yeah,
get a trail of winners, but some people are more natural than others, and some have to work harder than others to make jockeys.
What about the diet and the food? And, we keep hearing that you starve yourselves to death to be the right weight and you don't eat properly. And is this true?
It is true. Most of the jockeys that want to be jockeys seem to be too big and not usually naturally light. I was always too big personally, and I spent my life trying to keep about 21 pounds off my body. I used to go up 21 pounds always in the summer. That's why I started going riding in America every summer, just to keep my weight down.
And I mean, you mustn't have been eating sort of balanced things and having a good diet even when you were eating.
Not really. I think if you're wasting 12 months a year, you find it impossible to stay on a good diet. I think your brain would go. So you have your little binges and have to spend your life in the sauna again. But I think it keeps you mentally sane.
Do jockeys tend to bet? Would you ever take a bet on a horse?
Jockeys are not allowed to bet.
They're not. I know they're not allowed to bet. I didn't ask you that. I said, would they take a bet, Bob?
I wouldn't know.
Here. Oh, very, very good answer.
A lot of jockeys say they've never had a bet since they stopped riding when they retired.
Stay with me. I want to come back in a moment and find out a little more about the life of Bob Champion, and indeed the reason why he's in Northern Ireland for the next couple of days.
Assurance that only Savills has attained British Standard 5750. Only Savills can offer nearly new cars from Vauxhall with assured quality through BS 5750. Savills, our quality raises your standards.
Lynda Jayne.
It's 20 minutes now before 4 o'clock, and with me in studio today is Bob Champion, MBE. Didn't use that bit before. Should be on my knees here, Bob, really. But we talked briefly there about the fact that back in 79, 80, you discovered,
80,
yes,
yeah.
that you discovered that as a result of being kicked and whatever, you had exploratory surgery and found out that you were suffering from cancer. You went through what I'm sure can only be described as hell with your treatment. Would that be fair to say?
It was hell at that time. The treatment was very, very new. It was a bit barbaric, but now 10 years on, it's a lot better and a lot better success rate. I think my specific type of cancer was about 50-50 chance when I had the treatment. It's about 90% now, so...
It's a fair way in quite a short time, really.
10 years, yes, it's marvellous.
Do you still go back for regular checkups?
Yes, I do. I've got to go back next week, actually.
And how often?
Yearly now.
Just
it's the
every
first
year?
time. Yeah.
That's not bad,
Yeah.
not bad at all. And obviously, I mean, your Cancer Trust, which you've talked about, you're going all sorts of places, Western and Northern Ireland. Tonight, in fact, you're going to visit some of my old pals at Beaconfield. They'll kill you with kindness there, you know.
Well,
So watch yourself when you're
I'm
up
looking
there.
forward to going to the Marie Curie Centre
Yes,
there.
they really will. They're a wonderful bunch, absolutely wonderful. And another reason for being in the province today is also to leap round a number of health shops, shall we say, in various centres, singing the praises of something which is known as cardio caps. Now, the word cardio, obviously, we think of heart. What the heck are cardio caps, Bob?
Well, cardio caps are basically fish oil and garlic combined. And as everybody knows, fish oil is very, very good for people. Like the Eskimos and the Japanese don't seem to suffer from heart attacks at all. You know, and they live to about 85. And when they start getting westernized, they start getting heart attacks. And this is also combined with garlic, which everybody knows, which is very, very good for the blood. And it thins the blood and helps you not to get a heart attack, hopefully.
Yeah. Do they smell?
No,
I mean,
they
does
don't.
one smell of garlic? You don't smell at the moment.
No, they
garlic.
don't, actually. They're odourless. You take them with food and a cold drink, and nobody smells. And I know they do you a lot of good.
Well, have you, I mean, obviously with having to keep a regular check on your health in all terms, have you ever had any little scares with the old ticker?
No, I haven't. You know, I got to know about, you know, having been in hospital and thinking how you're going to live or die, you start thinking about your health when you come out. And, you know, always looking into things about health and realise people need to live a sensible life and have a sensible diet. And I got to know about fish oil, you know, just by reading, and garlic, and everybody knows it does you good. And hopefully, well, they say it does keep you a good chance of you not getting heart attacks, you know, because your blood is thinned down a lot, so it doesn't clot.
Well, you're in the capital of the heart attacks now. I mean, in Northern Ireland, we
So I believe.
still have the highest rate. And I mean, we I don't know, we talk about it all the time. We tell people what to do and what not to do, and still it continues. So maybe the old fish oil and the garlic could do you some good and probably not do you any harm, as we would say here.
And it is also very good for arthritis as well.
Really?
Yes.
You don't suffer from that, do you?
Well, not yet. But I've had quite a lot of falls in my
Yes,
life, and I do
exactly.
get, you know, a little bit stiff
Twinges.
in places, in my back in places, and I've found since I've been taking it, they're a lot better.
Yes, right. Tell me this and tell me no more. You're off right after this as soon as I let him loose out of this studio, he's off to Ards Shopping Centre here in Newton Ards to Nature's Way. And if you are about the town, why not pop in and say hello to him? He'll be there until about 5 o'clock this afternoon. This schedule, which you have in Northern Ireland over the next few days, is pretty tight. How do you ever get tired? Do you ever think, heavens above, where am I today? What am I doing here?
I suppose since I won the National, I've got used to it with the film and everything, and I've had about 10 years of being dashing around the world, really, on tight schedules, and I've just basically learned to just relax.
You take it when you can, literally.
Yes, that's it. And
how do you relax?
me? Watch Coronation Street.
Good, no better way. No better way, absolutely. I mean, today, what are you? You're a trainer today, am I correct?
Yes, I do. I train in Newmarket.
And how many horses have you or how many do you look after?
Well, we've usually got about 10 in.
Owned by other people?
Yes, owned
and
by
they
other
come and
people.
stable them with you.
Yeah.
Is that the idea? That's an expensive business, I hear.
It is. You know, the prize money wants to get a little bit better in England too. It's disgraceful at the moment.
Well, we can't let you go, Bob, without testing you just ever so slightly. We've got the Cheltenham Gold Cup just around the corner. We've got the Grand National up and coming. Between you and me, because there's nobody else listening, could you give us a few good tips?
Well, the Gold Cup, I think the fellow was going to take all the beating. He's the form horse for the race, I think. Martin Pipe runs Rushing Wild, which must have a great chance. But the fellow's been to Cheltenham twice and got beaten a head and a neck in 2 runs. I think it's going to be third time lucky. I think he was very unfortunate last year when the media bull Carville's Hill up that he couldn't get beat, so he's ridden a race to beat him and hit the front too soon. And I think that's what beat him.
All right. And what about the National?
The National's a long way away. You know, it's what gets there sounding 100%. But as a horse, I think must have a great chance. He hasn't had a run over fences since he's been back from a layoff, but he did win a nice hurdle race at Windsor called Royal Athlete, trained by Jenny Pittman, whose horses all seem to run well in the National.
I saw her son getting an awful berating in the press last weekend. Poor wee fellow, you know, he's getting all this hassle just because he's Jenny Pittman's son. You know, I felt sorry for him in a way.
Well, that's the press.
Are we going to see you back on horseback again?
I ride out most mornings.
I mean, can we come and watch? I don't mean at the stables.
Yeah, occasionally riding a celebrity type of race. I did ride at Downpatrick.
Yes, I was just thinking that in my brain as I said it. What's your favourite course to race?
Well, in Ireland, I'd ride at Galway and Fairyhouse and Limerick and Downpatrick. But at home, I think Newbury was always my favourite. Liverpool was a one-off. Aintree is one-off every year, but every jockey loves riding around there. But as a place, you're going all the time. You know, Newbury was my favourite.
Do you ever go just to the races for a day to enjoy yourself?
I do, but I don't go too far, you know, because I've got runners. But if I go for a day out, I live in Newmarket, so I pop to Newmarket.
Very good. Any wee tips about any of these horses that are being stabled with you at the moment that we should look out for in months and years to come?
Well, I train a horse called Fenelna Hinch.
Fenelna Hinch?
Yes.
It's like Balna Hinch.
Means Festival of Ennis. He runs at Catterick next week. He must have a fair chance. He was third at Haydock after a 3-year layoff to Otterburn House a couple of weeks ago.
So look out for it at Catterick.
Yeah.
And any other little financial tips you'd like to give us?
And another horse called Dundroma. We bought him to try to win the Grand Military Gold Cup for Major Wilson, and he'd obviously have a great chance in that.
Okay, well, I've got all that written down. I don't want any phone calls from anybody asking me to repeat it, because I won't be repeating it. If you didn't get it first time round, tough. Bob, it's been a pleasure to meet you. Thank you very much indeed for coming in to join us today. And I better let you go, or you're never going to get to the Ard Shopping Centre this afternoon, or indeed to the Marie Curie Centre this evening. Thanks for being here. And come back and see us again sometime soon, won't you?
Thank you very much.
Thanks a million, Bob.